So there's a new semi-Olympic event. It's called the Spit and Walk, and it's meant to show the relationship between initial velocities, initial positions, and accelerations. And so I have the track all set up for the semi-Olympic event. And here it is. Here's the starting line, the starting flag, and then every half meter roughly there is a green flag. And the javelin, this is what it's based off of, is a piece of plastic, a little plastic toy, which is put into a person's mouth and then shot out. And in order to keep it uniform, every player tries to use full lung capacity and exhale at the same rate. And there are a lot of techniques to this, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to keep it at a 0-degree level with the ground and allow it to be a projectile. And then we'll see, based on different initial conditions, position, velocity, and acceleration, we will see if it has an effect at all. So let's see, that's a red javelin, green. Let's start off with red and see what happens. So I'm going to come up to the starting point. My feet are here. Initial position is 0 meters. And I'm going to go level. We'll see what happens. Okay, so it bounced basically right there, and then it bounced away. But it was at the 1 meter mark. Okay. So there. Went past the bar. Okay, so it bounced basically right to the 1 meter mark. So that was an initial position of 0. It had no added velocity, so I had to accelerate it with my mouth. But my body, as a frame of reference, had no initial velocity. And my body, as the frame of reference again, had no acceleration initially. It's actually the object had to receive the acceleration. So the scenario is not perfect, right? So let's try another where we start at the same point, but now I'm actually going to release it at that point, but I'm going to start back and give myself some initial velocity, which means the new javelin, which this one will be green, will have an initial velocity when I get to that starting line, and then we'll see if that has an effect. So I'm starting back here. I'm going to run forward, and when I hit that orange mark, I'm going to shoot it out. And indeed, it actually did have an effect. It happened to hit the flag and fall back. Let's do it one more time. Some slight effect. Okay. Not convincing enough for you? I'll start further back. And hopefully I'll have enough time to accelerate, and I'll get up to a high enough speed, which would be the object's initial speed. Now, you thought I was out of javelins with the red and the green, right? No. Blue now. Starting a little further back. I have somewhat of an obstacle. It's turned into an obstacle course now. There we are, much greater effect. So it's going about to that point, half a meter, meter and a half, about 1.8 meters. So a great difference there, about 3/4 of a meter difference, just by giving it that greater initial speed. But again, I want to emphasize my point. My point of reference was here. If I'd started further, then of course they would go further, right? The green would have, for instance, gone much further than the red. If I started a half meter ahead, it would have been a half meter ahead of where it is now. So it's all about initial conditions. You have the formulas which explain what naturally happens, and it's almost a plug and play experience after that.